And Piscataway means so much to me. It's where I'm from. Everybody knows that. And just glad to be a part of the tradition, the program. And Piscataway is always going to be home.
A new number one, bragging rights, and big games, and more big games. That's what NJ does. And there's only one place to get you right for week 5. What's going on, everyone? Neri Rodriguez here for the Garden Statement Week 5 edition. Yes, we're rolling through the season here, and we have more big games ahead of you this week. But before we jump into the thick of Week 5, we have to revisit the game of possibly the year that went down last Friday up in Ramsey. Don Bosco, Bergen Catholic, the rivalry, bragging rights on the line. It was the heavyweight matchup everyone was waiting for. Number 1 Bergen Catholic against number 2 Don Bosco Prep, two of New Jersey's biggest football powers. First quarter, all defense, both teams trading punches, crowd on edge, but no points on the board. In the second, Don Bosco getting things jumping. The Ironmen in the red zone convert a 4th down. Then Josiah Thomas from 1 yard out draws first blood. Extra point is good. Bosco takes a 7-0 lead with 9:17 to go in the half. And Bergen's still struggling to get the offense going as Bosco ruthless. Later in the second, Ironman back at the goal line. It's Dante DeLuca powering through Bergen for his first score. Oh, goodness! All of a sudden, it's 14-0 Bosco as 4:17 remains. Take cover. Bergen Catholic not scared though. Najee Calhoun just 79 yards on 15 attempts, but he's moving the chains for the Crusaders on the ensuing drive. Then Trey Tagliaferri going to link up with Jamel Hemere for an 11-yard strike with 27 seconds left. The 2-point try fails, but it's a ball game again. Bosco leads 14-6. Offense taking a backseat again in the third quarter. Bergen chips away as Jacob Saltis drills a 32-yard field goal that cuts the lead to just 5 with 1:41 to go in the third. Late in the fourth, it's still 14-9 Bergen as they're trying to orchestrate a go-ahead drive with just under 7 minutes left in regulation. Crusaders at about the 20 when Trey Tagliaferri's pass intercepted by Bosco and returned for a pick 6. However, pass interference on the Ironmen. They get another shot and soon after face a 4th and goal. Tagliaferri fires and this time it's picked off by Jack Hinspitter for some fresh cookies. Have to take another look. No doubt. Don Bosco then picks up a couple first downs on the ensuing drive, and that will lead to victory formation. Final score, Don Bosco Prep 14, Bergen Catholic 9. The Ironmen improved to 5-0 and hand Bergen Catholic their first loss of the season. They win the rematch of the state championship from last year. Not a whole lot of offense, but Dante DeLuca and Josiah Thomas combining for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one. On the Bergen side, as mentioned, Najee Calhoun ran for 79 yards while Austin Busso hauled in 6 catches for 86 yards. But when it mattered, the Ironmen defense stood tall. Bosco sends a message to the rest of New Jersey with this dub that the non-public A title runs through Ramsey. If you're not fired up after that, you need to check your chest, see what's in there. All right, now looking ahead to week 5, some more big matchups on the schedule. Publix taking center stage this week. Piscataway, Sayreville. It's Bomber Week for the Chiefs as they prepare for one of their big division rivals. We also have Northern Highlands and Old Tappan squaring up, and we have a pair of interviews of players that will be featured in that matchup along with Coach Nick Campanile as DePaul gets ready for a huge battle with St. Peter's Prep. Without further ado, let's jump into our interviews. All right, our first guest has a huge matchup against Don Bosco, who is feeling themselves after knocking off number 1 Bergen. Let's welcome in DePaul Catholic head coach Nick Campanile. Welcome, Coach.
How you doing, Larry? Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. I knew our paths were going to cross eventually here during this season. Why not during Bosco week? I know you're coming off a huge win. I mean, a big win over Paramus Catholic.
Right.
So, you know, one loss on the schedule this year, and it was to Good Counsel out in Maryland, a very good team. You know,
Yes.
what's been up with the Spartans so far in
Yeah,
2025?
we're just quietly doing our thing week by week. I'm proud of the way we're playing right now. We're playing selfless. We're playing team oriented football, and really proud of the effort our guys are playing with. And we've obviously you mentioned we had a great win Friday night versus a really good Paramus Catholic team. Something tells me we're going to see them again down the road in the playoffs. But it was just really hard fought win like every other game in this league, and really proud of the way our guys finished and stuck together in the second half.
Yes, and we were just talking a bit off camera, the Good Counsel loss, obviously, you want to win those games against, powerhouses and
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
But what did you learn from that? And, so far, what was what did the Spartans kind of learn from their out of state play leading up to now
Yeah, I
up
mean,
until this point?
we found out a lot about ourselves that night. We got off to a slow start, and I don't know, if the travel played a part in that or not, but we ended up down 21-0 in the second quarter. Fought all the way back, scored with 37 seconds left to hopefully tie the game. And we ended up missing the extra point and ended up losing the game 21-20. But we learned, like I said, a lot about ourselves and the type of fight that we have. And, our guys didn't quit for a second. They stuck together. They didn't panic. They didn't point fingers. They just played as hard as they possibly could until the last second of the game. And that one just we couldn't close it out. But other than that, we've been having a good year so far.
Yes, for sure. And as we were also just saying off camera, the schedule's only going to get harder from here.
Yep.
You got, Peters, and
Yeah.
it's just, it's only going to get harder from here.
Yeah.
So you've won 2 of the last 4 non-public B championships.
No.
Sometimes there's a little fall off after you win a title. It seems like you guys kind of found your rhythm for this year's team. What did you kind of preach to these guys in the preseason, and what do you think really contributed to your success so far this season?
Yeah, so every year is different, and obviously we graduated some tremendous players, some superstars last year. They're gone off into college and are doing their thing. So, what we said all off season long is, we have to replace some great players, and we've had guys in our program that have done the right thing, that have worked really hard and bought into the program, and trusted the process, so to speak, and have done a great job and stepped into those roles this year and playing great football.
Yeah, and some of those key players, obviously Derek Zammit, arguably the top quarterback in the state. He's a Washington commit. Marlon Bright, Jackson Basante, Mason James, AJ Larkin. Just, for those who don't know, just kind of, explain to us this year's cast and what you've seen so far from these guys.
Yeah, so you mentioned it. We have an incredible senior class, a bunch of great players who are not only great players but great people too. They really are. They get along great. They're a pleasure to be around and to coach. First of which that really pops out is Logan Nagel. I mean, he's making a case for New Jersey Player of the Year. I think he's got 10 sacks already, just 5 games into the season, and he's just been a terror for opposing offenses. Man, he just plays so hard with a motor and never stops, just plays with relentless effort, and that's what makes him a great player. You mentioned Jackson Bastante, another guy. I think he's got 7 sacks already. So we're doing a good job of getting after the quarterback and creating turnovers, and really excited about the way we're playing defense. It's been awesome. Last few weeks we've been able to make some great plays and create some turnovers, like I said, and turn those turnovers into points, and it's been really awesome to see. So yeah, great senior class. Really proud of the effort they put forth so far. And what's great about our offense is everyone is contributing. It's not where got to worry about 1 or 2 guys on the offensive end. We have 6 guys that caught passes Friday night, and that's really been the case all year long. Everybody's contributing. Everybody's doing a great job.
And this week's opponent, there's definitely going to be a lot of eyeballs on Don Bosco, DePaul. Before we get into that, did you watch any coverage, recap? What was the situation with the whole Bergen Catholic Don Bosco loss, considering, your brother Vito over there at Bergen?
Yes. So actually, yeah, I gave him 24 hours. I didn't want to call him right away, but we spoke yesterday afternoon, and obviously was distraught about the loss, but proud of the way his kids played and how hard they played, and it feels like obviously they're going to play him again later on down the road, and hopefully the result will be different for him.
Yeah, and it was kind of the same thing. I wanted to go up and say something, but just want to let him breathe, and I'm sure we are going to see another Bergen Don Bosco rematch here, and it's going to be just as thrilling as this last one was.
No question.
So family aside, the Don Bosco win over Bergen, did it help you hone in on anything? And how are you preparing for the Ironman going into this week?
Yeah, so obviously they got a heck of a football team, really well coached. They play really hard. They're physical on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I mean, obviously they're playing great defense. Held Bergen Catholic to 9 points, and team that they played down in Texas to 10, I believe. So they're playing great defense. So points are going to be at a premium Friday night, and we're going to have to protect our quarterback and let him do his thing, and hopefully plays the way he's been playing all year long.
Yeah, I guess so. So stepping away from this Friday, we were just talking also off camera. Your other brother, Anthony, huge win with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And your brother Nunzio over there at Syracuse doing big things, knocking off, ACC national, former national champs and things like that.
Yeah.
You guys have one of the most unique football families. I know it's a busy, busy time of year, and we've probably asked you this question a bunch of times, but what's it like when you just turn on the TV and you just see the name Campanile just doing different things in at every single level of the football world?
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome, man. Really, for Anthony, I just got done watching his game, and they're playing incredible on defense. So he's been waiting a long time for this opportunity, and he's worked so hard to get there. So it's just been so cool to see him, do so well and get off to such a great start. And he's just so happy where he's at, the organization he's with, and he's doing an incredible job. So it's really, really cool to see. And obviously Nunzio's doing an incredible job as well. I mean, he had, I think, the number 1 passer in the country last season, and Steve Angeli, a Bergen Catholic grad, was his quarterback this year. Got off to a tremendous start, but unfortunately tore his Achilles last week. And they obviously were missing him yesterday. But it's been great to see them. I know it's awesome. We don't get to talk as much as I'd like, this time of year, but we have our group chat. We're always cheering each other on and giving each other advice and that type of stuff. But as soon as the season ends, we'll all get together and celebrate, hopefully.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Coach, I don't want to keep you much longer, and I'm sure this isn't going to be the only time we have you on this season. Sure. So, Don Bosco, Friday night at home. Tell me, what's the vibes like getting ready for this game?
Yeah. So, obviously a huge game. They're the number 1 team in New Jersey right now, just knocked off Bergen Catholic, an incredible game Friday night. So it's going to be a great atmosphere Friday night, and we're going to have to play a great game. We're going to have to coach a great game. We're going to have to play as hard as we've ever played. But I think we will. I think we're cut out for the challenge. And I know we're going to play as hard as we can, like we always do. And, and as long as we do that, the results take care of themselves, kind of what we say to our guys. So that's the case Friday night, hopefully.
All right. And lastly, Coach, before we get out of here, what does the rest of the state need to know about DePaul Catholic going into their huge matchup with Don Bosco?
That's a good question. Obviously, I know our quarterback is pretty special, man. He put on a performance Friday night like I've never seen before. He was like Superman out there, man. If people haven't gotten a chance to see him play, I think they ought to come out Friday night and see this guy because he's pretty special.
All right, Coach Nick Campanile, I appreciate you stopping by, and best of luck to you and the DePaul Catholic coaching staff. Always a good time when I get to see you guys out there.
Absolutely. Really appreciate it, Nary. Thanks a lot. And hopefully we'll do this again soon.
For sure. For sure. Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
All right, let's welcome in our next guest. It is Bomber Week for him. Has a big matchup against Sayreville. He's an Iowa State commit. Some of you know him as JoJo. Let's welcome in Josiah Zayas. Welcome, brother.
How you doing? How you doing?
Can't complain, brother. Talking ball, so it's always a good time. So you just debuted against North Brunswick. Got your
South
first
Brunswick,
study
South
in.
Brunswick.
Oh, South Brunswick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got your first touchdown in. All right.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be back out there on the field? I know you sat a little bit because you transferred from St. Thomas Aquinas. How's it feel to be back out there?
I mean, it feels great to be back out there with the guys. I mean, I've been itching to play football for a real long time now. It just feels good to be able to be back out there and finally get to like lead by example.
Yeah, and I know, St. Thomas Aquinas had like a mass exodus. Almost their whole team left, and I know you had to sit out before you could play this year. You sat out what, 3 or 4 games?
I had to sit 4 years.
Sat 4. I know you're coming off a 1,000-yard season, has 7 interceptions. What was the decision to go play at Peeway of all places?
Well, I mean, Piscataway is my hometown, so made the decision. I was committed to Iowa State. I mean, and just with that commitment, I always talked about how I wanted to go back home for my senior year, and I just ended up doing that, and now I'm back with all my friends playing ball just like I was in Pop Warner.
Yeah, and Peeway off to a pretty strong start. I was there for when they dropped the ball against Bridgewater Raritan. Talking to some of the coaches on the sidelines, I know they couldn't wait to get you in the game there. But talk about what the Chiefs learned after that loss, and what's just the vibes been like in 2025 for Piscataway.
I think 100%. I feel like we learned not to get too comfortable. I think after the Edison game, I think just having that win, I think we started to get complacent from the way we practiced and everything. We didn't have the best week of practice going up to that game, and it showed. We made mistakes. We played a D game and lost by a touchdown. So it just showed that no matter what, it's always us versus us, and that we have to play the RA game, and nobody can stop us. And even still to this day, I don't think we've played even a B game. So I think we're going to be very scary.
For sure. And like we were talking about offline, I'm excited to see you in action this Friday. Big game versus undefeated Sayreville. They got the running back Sean Jackson, who's killing them right now. What's this week of preparation been like for Sayreville so far?
I mean, it's Bomber Week, so we take it very, very personal. I mean, I think my biggest goal this week is to set a new standard for the way that we practice, and to carry that not only in Bomber Week, but to carry that out of it. I want to be able to have a good week, go beat the Bombers, and then continue to carry that momentum. I think number 4, he's a good player, but I think we have better ones. And as long as we all do our job, you're not going to hear a cannon go off all game. Our plan is to do another shutout.
That's awesome. And what does a good week of practice look like for you?
We try to win at everything we do. From meeting, everything. Every time you do something, you just have to win it. From the meeting to the warm up to the pre-practice to the OND to the DND. Every period, we just try to win it. We try to dominate it, and at the end of the day, we just hope we undefeated.
Yeah, and Peeway does such a good job of preparing its players. I say, it's a public school program that's run very professionally, and you have, the Higgins family. I love those guys, and somebody I consider to be arguably the greatest motivational speaker I've ever heard, Coach Jerry. A lot of people don't, I wouldn't say don't know about Coach Jerry, but I think they underestimate what he brings to that program. What can you just say about the Piscataway coaching staff and how they get you guys ready?
I mean, the entire coaching staff as a whole, uh, they are very like they're people you could go to talk to. We could all bring up our ideas. It's very like we all work with each other. And then I mean they get you going. Like from the first day I transferred back, uh, wasn't able to lift yet, but I was there. Just the energy in the weight room that like Coach Frank do, he our OC and strength coach. Just the energy that our coaches bring, I think, are very good. And uh, like you said, the pregame speeches, I'm happy that I could finally get going and go play now. Because before I was just watching them, itching to get out there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like I said, Coach Jerry, one of the best in the game, if not the best. P-Way, such a storied program. A lot of history, a lot of tradition, a lot of school pride. You are going to be honoring former Jet Kyle Wilson this Friday, so that'll be awesome. Retiring his number. What does it
Mhm.
mean that you are going to end your high school career being a Piscataway Chief?
I think it's a big deal. You know, it's a long line of players to come out of here. Obviously, you got the big names like Malcolm Jenkins, Kyle Wilson. Um, but there's also some other guys who we got in college right now, and I think it's going to be really cool to show that uh, in an era right now where going non-public is very, very popular, that there is talent in these hometowns. And um, I mean, obviously, I like to think that I'm one of them, but on my team as well, there's a lot of dogs, like just a whole bunch. Like the list could go on from Zaire to Makai to Sean, guys who like Sean, for example, he don't even play football for real. He's a wrestler, but like we all love ball and we all play for each other. And I think we got a very special group.
You definitely do. Like I said, you only have the one loss, and you're lost by a touchdown, but you have Sayreville, and then the rest of your schedule is very winnable. So what's going to be kind of the mindset here, for the Piscataway Chiefs going
Uh,
forward?
like I said, we want to have a really good week of practice this week and carry the same momentum into every single week. Only we can beat us. Um, I don't think there's a team in the state that can beat us when we're playing our best. And we're just going to continue to hold ourselves accountable. And we all understand that a state championship is what we want, and we're going to work towards that every day, like we've already been doing.
And you mentioned Bomber Week. Obviously, that holds weight. I've been there for them Sayreville, Piscataway games. For those who have never been involved in a game like this, just kind of, put it into perspective.
Uh, I mean, it's a real big deal. Couple couple of kids today came into the meetings with blue Gatorades, and we had to pour those out. So it's definitely a big deal. I think this year the game is probably going to be the biggest it's been in a while due to the fact that they're undefeated and we got one loss to our name. I think uh, this game holds a lot of weight. We're playing for to potentially be at home for all of our playoff games. So winning this game, it means everything, and that's what we're gonna go do.
That's awesome, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but we did mention your Iowa State commit. You had a couple offers such as Syracuse, Boston College. Just what went into your decision to play there for the Cyclones?
This is, I went there on my official visit. Got to be around the coaches, got to be around all the players, and I think what did it for me and my family was that how much it felt like a home could be built over there. In an era where everybody's just worried about money, and for me, I wanted to make sure in my recruiting that I made sure that like a relationship was actually built, and that's what I did there. Um, to be honest, I was ready to commit as soon as I went on my official visit. I gave it time. I gave it some weeks and weeks, and I felt the same way I did when I first left. Um, I'm grateful to be able to call that my home. And yeah, go Cyclones.
I love it, man. I love it. We're definitely going to be watching you on Saturdays. But before that, Josiah, I just want to leave you with the mic for some parting words. You know, what does the rest of the state need to know about this matchup with Piscataway and Sayreville, and what are you most looking forward to on Friday night?
Um, just looking forward to making a statement. Like I said, we're gonna silence the cannons, and we're gonna go put a lot of points on the board. Hopefully this game. To be honest, I don't really care about anybody else's opinion. I know what I have inside of my room and on my team, but hopefully it lets everybody know that we're here to win a state championship.
Can't argue with that. Josiah Zayas, I wish you nothing but the best of luck this Friday. God bless, brother. And I'm looking forward to getting some tape with you.
Yes, sir.
And Josiah Zayas, not the only big interview we have for Piscataway, as a former New York Jet, Kyle Wilson, will be honored at halftime, getting his number retired. And you know how we do. We love to bring you the best. So here is an exclusive interview with the former NFL great. I'd like to welcome in our next guest, a very special guest. He's played football all four phases: Pop Warner, high school, college, and he's been to the grandest stage, the NFL. I want to welcome in Piscataway's own Mr. Kyle Wilson. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now, uh, as discussed on the show, uh, big game versus Piscataway and Sayreville this week, and it's going to be very special at halftime. You are being honored. You're having your jersey number retired. What is it like to go back to P-Way, and what is it like knowing that, Friday night you are going to be at the center of attention getting your flowers?
It's awesome. So I'm just very appreciative, and I can only think about everyone who's helped me along the way, and it's definitely my family and community. And Piscataway means so much to me. It's where I'm from. Everybody knows that, and just glad to be a part of the tradition, the program. And Piscataway is always going to be home. So it's always just nice to go home, and good to see family and friends, and just goes to show, you make the right choices, you do the right things, over time, time will pass and you can come back and you can have nice things like this. And I really appreciate it because it's a big time to be with my dad. So it means a lot to me.
Yes, and shout out to Dr. Jerry, Coach Jerry. He is someone very special to me. One of the first people I met when I got into the high school football space, and I'm fortunate enough to call him a friend. He texts me every now and then. Such an
That's
encouraging
awesome.
person. Before we get into the football stuff, just your father, since the day I've met him, and it's funny, he kind of threw it on the back end. He's like, "Oh, my son." He's like, "My son played in the NFL." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He said your name. I'm like, "Jerry, you're killing me, man. Yeah, you're burying the lead here. That was years ago, and your brother as well. He is one of the most inspiring people, and I genuinely say that I've ever met. Not only does he uh offer me words of wisdom, but just watching him, I say he is probably New Jersey's first full-time mental health coach on the football
Definitely,
field. Your
definitely.
father, so many nuggets of wisdom. Just what was it like growing up with Dr. Coach
Uh,
Jerry Wilson?
to be honest with you, it was not easy. So my dad, if you know, very strict, discipline. He always preached education and hard work. And so with those, everything starts at home. With those, you can go anywhere. So to be honest with you, I did a lot of stuff that I did not want to do or like per se, but it only prepared me for when I was older. And when I got older, I look back on it and appreciate it, and it made me just a better person in general. So to understand the life lessons that were taught at home, you can apply them to athletics and sports, but it's more importantly to off the field and those areas. And those are literally what's the difference between, separating you from the others and you getting things that you want in a way, or you moving closer to your goals, or you moving further away.
And he is just such detail-oriented person, I flash back to the first summer training camp where I went to see Peeway. I believe they're coming off a state championship win, and he's walking around with a little pad.
Mhm.
And I hadn't gotten a chance to talk to him yet, but he's walking around with a little pad, writing things
Mhm.
down. Then afterwards, we're talking for about 10 minutes, and he's
Mhm.
like, he goes, he explains what he's doing, and he's just like, I walk around and I write. He's like, I study the kids, and he's like, I write down
Uh-huh.
little things that I see because each kid is
Right.
different. Everybody needs to
Right.
be attended
Right.
to different. And I was like, wow, this guy is the real deal. I'm ready to put on, a
See?
helmet again. It's been a
Uh-huh.
while, but
Mhm.
just talk about, your father, I guess, compared to when you were playing at Piscataway and now
Uh-huh.
watching him, now still very, very
Oh,
involved in these
it's a
kids'
lot
lives.
different. It's definitely a lot different. Timing's different. Just I would say a lot of personal growth. So me being into different phases of adulthood, almost middle aged. My dad's still doing the things that he did, but you can only really understand some things when you sort of go through them. So actually being a father is definitely gave me a different respect and different perspective when you go through things. And I can only go back to the things that we talked about in the times growing up and just knowing he did his best. And so I'm literally trying to do the same thing. And so we still have those conversations, and they're awesome. So it just goes a testament to being able to talk and have those tough conversations and go through those tough times only make you stronger for later on in life. And those have definitely blessed me to be able to have the confidence and the wherewithal and to know that I can do anything I put my mind to or get to where I want to go. And smaller goals to bigger goals, and what you see is a lot of people quit or stop along the way. And I end up reaching a lot of things just because I didn't give up and I really wanted things when other people didn't really want to do the work.
You sure did. You were part of something. Every team you went to, you're part of something special. Stepping
Definitely.
away from Peeway, Boise State. I remember being, however old I was back then, I was a lot younger than I was now. But you know, the obviously people probably bring up the Fiesta Bowl, or the big win over Oklahoma, things like that. But you really did we lose you there?
No, no, I'm
There
here.
we go. Okay. But, you were part of just so many great teams, and like I said, your time at Boise State is something that's still special, and you still hold records and things like that. Just talk about your mindset going from Piscataway to Boise State and just all those emotions, and how are you able to just, really, really elevate your game?
One second. One second. Hold on.
No problem.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Did we lose you?
No, no, I had to accept the call. I had somebody coming through the gate. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. No problem. No
Yes,
problem.
I'm back. I'm back. Thank you.
No. No, I'll just I'll reamp it. So, you weren't the most heavily recruited player, but you got an opportunity to go to Boise State, and not only did you take advantage of it, but I like to believe you exposed that program to so many young kids like myself, and the big win over Oklahoma still very inspiring. So, just talk about your time at Boise State and just elevating your game from Peeway to, still holding records there and things like that.
Awesome. Boise State was awesome. I really linked up with a lot of great teammates, and we all had the same common goal. So very similar to Piscataway. It was a group that we put in a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and look back on it, we won a lot of games, and we have some awesome memories. So as we get older, right, we don't get to hang out as much, and we are doing different things at different phases of life. But when we do hang out and get to see each other, it's awesome to like talk about the really good times, the championships. But all of that comes back to the hard work that we put in together, and those bonding moments, those real championship teams, they're like bonds for life. So we got some awesome memories, and we all talk about how they happened, And that's the big thing of like what we take off the field, and it's actually how hard we worked and how prepared we were, and that's why we won majority of the games. It wasn't necessarily the talent, yet we were all talented. So it just goes to show that when you're part of something special and part of something bigger than yourself, everybody's doing their job. Special things happen, and we were on some very special teams. So I know I did my part, but definitely wasn't all of it, and it was definitely I couldn't have done it without any teammates. But we all challenged each other. We all worked extremely hard, and definitely special time. So didn't lose too many games.
You sure didn't. Had a couple undefeated seasons there. The one that I'm sure everyone brings up, and like we were just talking about, the Oklahoma when
Mhm,
just one of the biggest upsets and just one of the greatest finishes I've ever
mhm,
witnessed. Just talk about like the preparation, just everything that went into that game that people may have not seen or
mhm.
known.
Um, well, a lot of I know it was a lot of upperclass when I was a freshman playing that year. A lot of the team came back from the year before, but we believed, and if you were watching the game, we were blowing them out, and some momentum shifted lately, and it turned things pretty close. But it was a very tough game. They were very big, very physical, but we played the game the right way, and if you just watch the game, it was a very good game, very good game. But the better team won.
For sure, for sure. You got I mean, this is I don't want to ruffle too many feathers, but that's got to be the best. That's got to be the best state or the most memorable stadium you played at. I mean, the blue turf sticks out. I mean,
Definitely,
it's
definitely. No,
so
nothing like playing at home. That's definitely one of them.
how and I guess compared to the NFL, what was that turf like playing on? Did you like that one better than the surfaces in the NFL, or you really just it didn't really matter?
Um, there were some different stadiums got different effects. Some that I remember just vividly. Pittsburgh had a nice stadium, nice home field advantage. Seattle got pretty loud, so I don't think I got to play at uh, all the stadiums or anything like that, or so many, but some of those stadiums were those two stuck out the most to me. Yeah, some other ones for some different reasons, but I'm not gonna say. But those are pretty cool.
Those are probably for some words that are exchanged, which we won't go over on this show. I think you probably relived some of them AFC East battles too many times. And jumping ahead to that, you go from an incredible run at Boise State to
Mhm,
arguably the last great era that the Jets had. That
mhm,
those teams were so memorable.
mhm,
Coach Rex Ryan, and
mhm,
Darrell Revis, the Mark Sanchez era.
mhm.
There's so much. You're Hard Knocks, all that. Just take us through
Yeah.
your time with the Jets, and yeah, what was it like coming back and playing at
Uh,
East Rutherford?
it started out awesome. I know I was there for a second AFC championship. So, after my rookie year, having a high school career and college career, probably couldn't tell me too much. So, but after that, the next couple of years and definitely my last couple of years in New York definitely showed me how to continue to be a professional. Um, didn't win as many games, but just continue to be a professional and one of the best in the world. Um, it really just showed me to what I could be off the field and the professional approach of how to approach the media and understand, public image in a professional setting. So, taught me to be professional with everything I do, and it just continued to make me a better person. And I appreciated my time in New York because it was awesome, and got to be around my family and friends, and couldn't have picked a better place to start my career actually.
That's so dope. And now when you were in New York, it had already switched over to MetLife, correct? You weren't playing at the old Giant Stadium.
Right, right. So yep, and we were in Florham Park.
Okay, all right. I love that facility, by
Mhm,
the way. The grass
mhm.
there is
See, yes,
is
beautiful place to
beautiful.
go to work. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Love Florham Park over there by Morristown. Now, it's funny that stadium has come under heat for a variety of different reasons. What do you have anything to say about the playing surface there? Did you notice
For
anything?
sure.
Anything from other guys?
I'm not gonna say anything about specific, but I would just say, as I got older in general, I definitely enjoyed playing on grass. It's easier on your joints, and it was really nice to play on grass as I got older in my career. So I always look forward to it, more in practice as well.
I love it. I love it. An honest man. Kyle, so you go from the Jets, and you go to the Saints. Um, Now, you spent what, 2 seasons in New Orleans, I believe?
Yes. Hmm.
Yes. So, one of the reasons I like to do this show, we don't bring on just 5 stars. I love getting kids that have no offers. I
Oh,
love getting them taped, things like that, because it's really easy
nice.
to hone in on those top guys.
Hmm.
I try to give athletes a platform to speak to college coaches directly. I like to think that
Beautiful.
this stuff gets shared.
Hmm.
I wanna bring this up because I think it's really important, and I always try
Hmm.
to, give little nuggets here to former players, current players, things like that. Your life after football. Talk about that
Hmm.
transition because it seems like, you're in a really good, mental health space, just talking with your
Hmm.
father. He always speaks so highly of you, and the football
Hmm.
part actually comes in second, believe it or
Uh-huh.
not. But just speaking to the players out there, because not everybody's gonna make it to the NFL. Talk about that transition, leaving professional football and finding your own way in life.
Definitely, definitely not easy. Definitely say use your resources, talk. You're gonna have to figure it out, but it's definitely gonna be some tough times. But you just think about all the things you've been through earlier in life, things in your athletic career, and you can surface those to new things. And you have to come up with new patterns, new cycles. And it's not easy. I still go through it every day. I miss football, but different times of year, you got to figure out different things, um, work differently. But nowadays it's nice to be around football. I'm going back. My son has started football, so it's got me more involved watching football. We find different ways to give back. My dad's always encouraging me to read, learn more, continue to write things down, continue to check goals off that I want to accomplish, and just keep my mind in the right space. It's not easy. I had a lot of great friends to talk to, and I don't have everything all figured out. So I just continue to try to stay positive, continue to make good choices, um, stay away from making bad choices. Keep things simple, and I'm definitely an example to my kids. So every day, I got to make good choices and do the things that I'm asking them to do, and I just try to focus on that on a daily, and that kind of gets me through. So they are my world, and they are busy with school and athletics as well. And I have a schedule, and it keeps me really busy. So I don't have so much time to myself, and but those are sacrifices that I make for my kids. And once I see them go to college, I'm going to jump over and take over coaching, and I owe that to myself. But right now, it's a sacrifice that I want to make for them, and I enjoy the time that I do have now, because I didn't have that when I was actually working and playing. So that's the time that I take every single day to spend with my kids and enjoy the time that we do have.
That's so awesome. And I can't wait for people to hear, your story kind of away from football as well. So would you be, I guess when that time comes, would you be interested in coaching a high school program?
To be honest with you, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. It is a job, see, and I would love it. I would love to come to Piscataway, but I don't live in Piscataway anymore, and that's not something you can do remote. But definitely, high school is definitely what I'm looking at. I know college and professional are some different aspects, but I definitely enjoy the high school level for sure.
And you are just one of the many great players that come out of New Jersey. I feel like sometimes they try to bury it in the Wikipedia. Some like the Jersey guys, they gotta start giving us our respect. We're
Definitely,
a top
definitely,
10 football state in the country.
for
You,
sure,
Malcolm
for sure.
Jenkins, Brian Cushing around your era, and then the list goes
Hmm.
on. So many different eras. Drew
Hmm.
Pearson, Joe Theismann. What can being in the league, did you link up with a lot of Jersey guys? Do you see a little bit of a different style in terms of just play or just swagger, things like that, whenever you came across a Jersey guy?
All Jersey guys are tough. So, you find them everywhere. Everybody from Jersey. But yeah, just I played with a lot of different guys. But all the Jersey guys definitely stuck together and definitely known for being tough.
What I guess what is a moment or just maybe an interaction or a quote, speech? So, what's a memory that from the NFL that really just stands out to you and yeah, like I said, just means a lot to you that we might not know.
Uh, good question. I don't know. I had a lot of awesome memories. You got me thinking of football memories. The last one I could think of is just now, or something I'm looking forward to actually. Later on at the end of the season, I'm looking forward to going to watch a football game with my dad. So that'll be something I'm looking forward to.
That's great. Kyle, I don't want to keep you too much longer. The Chiefs got a big game against Sayreville. I know you've taken part in a couple of those matches. What's a talking to Jojo, one of their
Hmm.
star players. He said it's Bomber Week. He was locked in.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
what does Bomber Week mean to Kyle Wilson?
Um, it's gonna it means a lot of hard work, a lot of focus. But I'll say, it's gonna be a quiet week on the field. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but we always played them, and it's always been quiet when we played them. So I wouldn't expect anything different this week.
For sure. I got two more for you. Um, your dad, I always call him the acronym king. He's got an acronym for
Mhm.
everything. I know he has a new one every single year. I still refer back to some of them. I know he's had a lot of quotes, a lot of words of wisdom. Is there
For
just
sure.
like a certain phrase or a quote that like you always stands out or he always just reiterates to you?
Um, not one in general. So many. I could name it. Not one. But definitely, I would say, just like we talked about, his words of wisdom. That stands out. So he touches on a lot of different aspects. Uh, you actually got to read them and understand. And from time to time, they'll speak to you a little different. But just understanding what he puts into those words of wisdom speak out to me.
When he sees this, do you want to give a message to your dad, Dr. Coach Jerry Wilson?
Dad, I love you, man. I love you. Can't wait to see you, and I appreciate you.
For sure. And this is gonna be the last one. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot of players, high school kids watching this. Just speaking to all those kids out there with aspirations, and some of them, like I said, not everybody will make it to the NFL, so some of them might be a little misguided or just need some words of encouragement. What would you just say to all the young athletes in New Jersey? Yeah,
I
I'll
would
give you the
say,
floor.
no doubt. I would say, kids continue to make good choices. If you make good choices, you get closer to where you want to go. If you don't make good choices, doesn't really work out that way.
All right. Well, Kyle, I really appreciate you taking time out to do our show. I know
Thank
our
you, thank
audience is
you.
really going to appreciate it. All the kids around the state are going to appreciate it. And once again, your father, very, inspiring story. And like I said, off camera too, your dad, been so good to me uh,
Thank you.
throughout this game. And uh, I wish you
Much
nothing but the
appreciated.
best.
Yeah.
Many blessings to you and your family. And listen, man, I hope to see you with the coach with the headset on someday. All right.
Awesome. Much appreciated. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you Friday.
Awesome. See you soon. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. All right. Our next guest is gearing up to take on Northern Highlands. Let's welcome in Old Tappan starting quarterback, Zach Miceli. Welcome.
Thank you.
For sure. For sure. Based off my opener, just going to get it right out of the way. What has it been like or just take me through the vibes getting ready for the Highlanders this week.
Yes, sir. Obviously, great team. They're undefeated. Um, Powerhouse in New Jersey, like always. Big Group 4 team. We just got to prepare like we always do. Stack days in practice and, prepare like it's just another game because it really is just it'll be be a big test for us. A real tough matchup. So we'll see how it goes.
It sure will. Both of you have recent history in the postseason, coming off the big win to Mainland. What was just kind of the mindset? How are you guys able to just keep that fire and still produce well here in 2025?
We have pretty high standards here in Old Tappan. Great coaches that been here for a while, and we know what it takes to get that far. Know what it takes to beat good teams and in big time games. And I feel like we have the team to do it, and all the guys are really bought into the program. Really want to get far in the season, and I just think just got to keep it going, stay humble, and just stack days in practice, like I said.
Yeah, and we're talking a bit here off camera, and you kind of split time last year, but you are the starter this year. What did you kind of just learn from that experience, and just talk about your progression from sophomore to junior year?
Yeah, it was honestly great. I got to learn a lot. Coaches, it was really great just filling me in everything, learning the offense, getting more comfortable as the season, and just learning behind seniors. And, you know, now junior year, bigger, stronger, feel more comfortable going through everything, and just a bigger role for the team. And that's what I like to have.
Yeah, and your record 5-0, not only impressive, but it's been against some good teams. And you see one over West Essex, Riverdale, always a great program, and Ramapo. Speaks for itself. Just talk about the resume that you guys have built up so far, and it's only going to get tougher from here.
Yeah, that's right. It's only going to get tougher. We got some big games ahead, especially this week. Those are great wins, but we can't just settle on that. We just have to keep getting better every day. Just keep getting better in practice, and can't really focus on the past. Just get ready for the future.
For sure. I know you got 15 touchdowns so far this year. Hopefully you get some more in there. What's been working for you though so far in your junior year?
Honestly, it's the people around me that make me better. Coaches, offensive line doing great. Guys stepping up in every position, and honestly, the receivers outside just making big plays for me, making me look good, and we all just work as a team, and that's how our success is coming around.
And a program like Old Tappan, I said it on a previous show, even when you guys have a quote unquote down year, I mean, the program is very well oiled. There's usually never one standout player. It's usually like a group effort. For those who don't know, what's it just like lacing it up for Old Tappan and the standard there?
When you play for a coach, a really good coach, Coach Dunn, and the staff around that, you know, we talk about not being a me guy and really just being a guy for the team. Whether you're not getting the ball, you're getting the ball. Practice in the meetings, just do your assignment, do your job, and everything around you is going to work if everyone does their assignment.
And you talk about stacking practices. I know it's early here in the week, but just so far, what's the vibes been like in practice, and what have you seen so far?
Yeah, just doing our normal routine, uh, doing everything the same way we usually do. Meetings at lunch during school, locked in those meetings, locking in on film, seeing what they have, just planning for the things we're going to see on Friday and get ready to adjust to everything we see.
Yeah, and they got some heavy hitters, man. One particular, Carter Blattner. You're gonna have to prepare for number 50. What have you seen so far from the tape of Northern Highlands, and what are you guys kind of preparing for?
Yeah, they definitely got some dudes on their team. They're also a well-coached team. They got some size and speed, and they have multiple guys we got to worry about. It's definitely going to be a good game, and we just got to play tough.
Yeah. Junior year, like we are speaking a bit off camera. I believe you don't have any offers yet. We are going to change that though. We'll definitely get you some. Just talk about your junior year playing for Old Tappan, and what's just the experience been like. What have you been enjoying so far?
I just enjoy how we're just one big team, a brotherhood. Whether it's hanging out in the locker room, hanging out outside of practice, getting food together. We're all just one big team. We all have the same goal, and we all just want to keep getting better. And like great group of kids, and the season's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and you guys have been taking care of business on offense. The Ramapo game was your closest one. You won that one 28-24. Just take me through the emotions and things you learned during that game, and your guys' ability to come out on top against a very well coached and successful team.
Yeah, we knew coming in it wasn't gonna be a walk in the park, and for me and the guys around me, when we were down at halftime, everyone was calm in the locker room. Obviously, we fixed things, adjusted things, but I was calm. The guys around me were calm, and we knew that we have a lot of time left, and we knew game's not over until that final whistle. And it came down to the last play, and guys stepped in. Some guys got hurt, so really just all around team effort there, and it was a really fun game.
And to kind of reiterate what I was saying, Old Tappan, special place, a lot of history, a lot of great battles. Super Football Conference, I think, is one of the best in the country. There's some good parity, and some of these matchups are great. Like you said, like a Ramapo, a Ridgewood, Northern Highlands. These are some great matchups. Riverdale with you guys. For those who don't know, just kind of talk about North Jersey football. I love to compare kind of the two because there's just some great South Jersey matchups and things like that. But just talk about the area of football that you're so fortunate to play in.
Yeah, Bergen County, just a lot of eyes on Bergen County, especially North Jersey. Great private school teams and just a lot of great public school teams that have been doing it for such a long time. And we're just very honored and blessed to have all the channels tuned in on us, giving us the recognition, and it's fun playing in a very competitive league, and
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but what are you looking forward to most about this matchup with Northern Highlands?
yeah, obviously, like I said, it's a big test, and it's going to be very hyped up atmosphere. Away at Northern Highlands gets loud over there. But big games, we live for big games, and we just love competing against the best, and it's definitely going to be fun. It's definitely going to come down to the wire, and I just enjoy playing the game, especially with the guys around me.
For sure, and windy, very windy up there when you go up the hill.
Yeah.
I've been there for some playoff battles, and it definitely gets longer as the night goes on up there. Zach, like I said, I don't want to keep it too much longer. What does the rest of the state need to know about the Old Tappan Golden Knights going this Friday night, and going forward in 2025?
We're gonna stay humble, but we're also gonna keep getting better. And Old Tappan's not a team to sleep on because we're a tough team, and we've done it for so many years, and we're gonna try to keep doing it. And we're just got a team to watch out for.
Awesome. Well, Zach, good luck this week. We'll definitely be watching. Hope to get you on tape soon. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Our next guest will be on the other side, lacing it up for Northern Highlands in this matchup. Let's welcome in junior Carter Blattner. Welcome.
How are you?
Can't complain, brother. Talking ball with you. Always a good time.
Yeah.
So, huge undefeated matchup going down Friday night. Old Tappan, Northern Highlands. Tell me, what's the vibes like getting ready for the Golden Knights?
Yeah, it's exciting. We had a great day of practice today. We're ready to have a great week, and the game on Friday is going to be exciting.
Now, I know they've owned the last, I believe, 3 matchups against you guys. I know you lost 27-0 last year. You were just a sophomore. Um, Tell me, does that play a part into Friday's matchup against Old Tappan?
Yeah, definitely. We're fired up about it. We definitely want to get back what happened last year, losing 27-0. But yeah, it's exciting. Losing the last 3 years definitely fired up Coach Cord, and he really wants to win this one.
Yeah, Northern Highlands, it's one of those public school programs. Even when you guys have a quote unquote down year, I mean, you're still way more competitive than most of the programs out there. And, not just with Coach Cord, but Coach Greg Russo that kind of laid the foundation there. What is it about the Highlander program that just, breeds great football players and just great tradition?
I mean, it's really just about working hard and outworking the teams that you're playing against. I mean, we believe that no one puts in like the amount of hours that we put in, and that we're outworking everybody we play.
Yeah, and 6-5 record last year. You came up a little short to Peaburg in the sectional final there, and you're off to a 5-0 start. What was Coach Cord really preaching to you in the preseason, and what do you think has been the success for Northern Highlands in 2025 so far?
I mean, he definitely talked about dominating all 3 aspects of the football game, like winning the offense, defense, and special teams. And I think we've done a great job of that this year, really controlling the line of scrimmage up front and then definitely making plays downfield on offense.
And you guys opened the year with a big, a huge win. Actually, the first win out of any New Jersey team, I believe, down at the Battle of the Beach. So far, what's been your favorite game in 2025?
That Holy Spirit game was fun down in Atlantic City. It was a good time. It was a fun experience for the team, definitely.
And what would you say really made that matchup stand out for you?
Definitely it being a private school team and us being a small public school up north, it was a big one for us.
And we had on, quarterback from Old Tappan prior to this. Obviously they're fired up. They've watched some tape on the Highlanders. Tell me, what's it been like preparing for Old Tappan this week? And, what's just some of the things you guys are kind of honing in on?
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of detail-focused stuff this week. We got to be perfect in every aspect of the game. But we're really just focused on being physical up front and dominating the line of scrimmage to win the game.
And we're just talking a little bit here off air. You're going up D end and you're playing offensive line as well. What side of the ball you like playing more?
I like playing defense better.
Why is that?
I like getting after the quarterback.
You're definitely going to have a challenge this Friday. We were just talking to Zach, and I know both programs are really, through 5 games, you guys are really ramping it up here. So we were also talking a little bit off air. I know junior year, you're already getting some big recognition from some big schools like USC, Wisconsin, Rutgers. What's kind of the what's the recruiting trail kind of been like for you, Carter?
It's been exciting. It's definitely something that not everyone gets to experience, but I've really appreciated everything that I've gone through.
And like I said before, when Northern Highlands, when they have a quote unquote down year, it's still hard to kind of count you guys out. You're always fighting. You're always very well coached. Just kind of talk about playing not only for this program, but just the opponents that you guys see, that Ramapo matchup every year. I mean, that's one of the biggest rivalries and games I definitely have circled on every year.
Yeah, Coach Cord preaches it. Like, we play one of the toughest schedules in public school football, and it definitely gets us ready for those playoff runs down at the end of the season when you're battle tested through August all the way through November.
And like I said, junior year, It's a big moment for you to showcase your talent to to these big NCAA programs. But just kind of take us through junior year. What are you enjoying so far, and just the overall vibes of your 2025 season.
I'm enjoying everything, to be honest with you. You can't beat being 5-0, but we still got work to do and definitely have a big game on Friday.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're at home defending your own turf. I know the whole the whole town's going to shut down. I'm sure it's going to be a little windy out there. Been out there for some cold ones, but what are you looking forward to the most on Friday night versus Old Tappan?
Definitely the energy. I think the fans are going to bring it this week, especially with the big 5-0 matchup. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, and taking a look at the rest of your schedule here, we have Old Tappan, and then you have Ridgewood, who's another tough, storied program. Maroons are always going to give you a tough battle, and then you have that one with Ramapo. I know you want to take this one game at a time, but just how are you looking at the second half of your schedule?
Yeah, the second half of our schedule, we like to say, is kind of the gauntlet. Like you run through a lot of good teams from Union City all the way to Ramapo, but we're just taking it one game at a time and really trying to stack on good practices over and over again to beat these good teams.
For sure, for sure. Like I said, you have three, including this one, three regular season games, and then we can't believe it, we're getting ready for the postseason. Like I said, you guys came up a little short in the sectional final. I guess what's coach kind of been preaching to you guys, and do you feel like there's some unfinished business from last year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone on the team last year will tell you that we thought we should have won that game at the end. But it's really about the details and winning all three phases of the football game. And that's something that we didn't do at the end of the game there, and that's why we think we lost. But that's really what it's about, winning all three phases and being detail-oriented.
For sure. I won't keep you too much longer, Carter. Last two questions. I think I kind of touched on it before, but like I said, some great coaches in the last decade, Coach Russo, Coach Cord, and, you guys have been one of the premier public school programs to definitely keep an eye on. So, what's it like just, being a Highlander and seeing how much the town supports you and just, the alumni coaches, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it means everything to this town and the school, the football program, really, I think, kind of brings energy to the town and like a little bit of a buzz when we're playing well. And it's really exciting to see when the fans all come out there on Friday nights.
What are you looking forward to most about Friday?
The energy, man. It's going to be crazy.
And Carter, before I let you go, in case tell the rest of the state what they need to know about Northern Highlands going into this matchup with Old Tappan.
We're definitely coming. We're going to be ready to play on Friday.
All right. I love it. A man of few words, but I do appreciate you stopping by. Carter, good luck this Friday. I'm sure it's going to be another movie. Northern Highlands always seems to pull out some thrillers, so I'm looking forward to it, and look forward to getting some tape of you by the end of the year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And those three games, not the only big ones going down in Week 5. Let's take a look at our graphic provided by NJ Gridiron and see the rest of the big games going down. And we started off with St. Thomas Aquinas hosting Paramus Catholic, Paladins 1-4, Trojans 4-1. PC looking to get in the win column with this one. I think they do so just based off the fact that they play a harder schedule. So I do like the Paladins to get a road win there. Paramus Catholic at St. Thomas Aquinas, both those non-public programs looking for a win. Ramapo versus Passaic Tech, another pair of playoff-tested North Jersey powers, public powers at that. PCTI, never an easy out, but Ramapo, both teams these last couple years in the playoffs and historically, never a cakewalk. I like Ramapo's chances though. there going into Passaic Tech. I do think that they're a very scrappy team. Sayreville, Piscataway, obviously you've seen both our interviews surrounding that game. It's Bomber Week. Look, Sayreville comes in undefeated. Sean Jackson is killing them right now. P-Way does have Josiah Zayas, who debuted last week against South Brunswick. He's feeling a little bit comfortable, and I can imagine he wants to show out in this one. I did get a look at P-Way earlier in the year against Bridgewater Raritan, and that was a shootout with the Panthers that they came up short against them. I do think they were just missing like one or two players, and Zayas wasn't cleared to be playing yet, so I definitely think he would have made a huge impact. And while I haven't seen Sayreville play in person, their stats are insane. I mean, Sean Jackson, I believe, was the first running back I saw that was already in double digits. I'm going to go Piscataway in this one. I have to believe that the Chiefs are going to dig down deep and get this one done. It's like I said, and like the players iterated, it's Bomber Week. I know this is a huge conference rivalry game. It's close proximity, so I know it's going to be packed. P-Way is going to want to get it done for a guy, Kyle Wilson, so I do like the Chiefs in that matchup. This is another one that I think will be won by 10 or less points. And as we move along to the Burlington Bowl, yes, Burlington Township traveling to take on Burlington City. Great close proximity rivalry. I do like Burlington Township in this one just because Coach Stephen Everett just has the Falcons playing super hard. And I don't know if Burlington City is going to be able to match up with them coaching-wise. So I like the Falcons in that one. Wayne Hills at Wayne Valley, always a great battle. Fortunately, been there for a couple of these. Then moving along, the Burlington Bowl, Coach Stephen Everett has the Falcons out to a 5-0 start, and then their cross-county rival Burlington City also out to a 5-0 start behind Caden Booker. When you have two 5-0 teams, it's going to be hard to choose a clear-cut winner. I am going to lean a little bit more towards Township. I just think Coach Stephen Everett really knows how to get his team fired up, and they've been playing really well here. So I like the Falcons to get this one done. All right, moving along to the Wayne rivalry. Wayne Hills going to Wayne Valley. Patriots 5-0. Indians 4-1. After taking the L 3 years in a row, Wayne Hills getting in the W column in this rivalry last season. They're going to look to make it back-to-back wins against the Indians. I do think Valley has a little bit of an advantage at the quarterback position. They have quarterback Danny Ferrolio, who's passed for well over 1,000 yards. I feel like they have a slightly better roster, so I like them to get this win over the Patriots. Next is RBC St. John Vianney, the KCs, coming off a thrilling win over Homedale, who's having a sensational year behind quarterback Jack Cannon. But these RBC freshman running backs, Gabe Kemp and Ramir Rivera, going to be too much for the Lancers. I like RBC to take this matchup. Then 3-2 Brick Memorial traveling up to Monmouth County to take on 3-1 Homedale. Quarterback Jack Cannon lighting it up for the Hornets this season. He's currently at 788 passing yards. That accompanies 626 rushing yards. And so far, he has all 12 of their rushing touchdowns. That puts him at 21 total on the year. Now, these two don't play each other often, but this season, Homedale took down RFH, who started out as arguably the best team in Group 2. But early into the season, RFH handed Brick Memorial a 35-7 loss. While I think the verdict is still out on Rumson Fairhaven, I am going to give the advantage to Homedale because they just took down a tough opponent not too long ago. Moving along, West Orange at Phillipsburg. This is a rematch of the sectional final from 2 years ago where Phillipsburg came up short at home. I saw the State Liners once this season. That was against a young Westfield team. I thought they got the job done well on the road. They had some hard, scrappy running backs like Sam Deck as expected. West Orange still looks like it's trying to fill the void of past players who just recently graduated, like quarterback Charlie Lamort. So I do think the Mountaineers are experiencing some growing pains. Look, even when Peaburg has a quote-unquote down year, it's really tough to beat them at home. I think West Orange is talented, but I don't know if they're ready to go toe-to-toe with a team like Phillipsburg that year in, year out, this is one of the most closely bonded teams. I like the State Liners in this one. I think they have a little bit more of a running attack, and they definitely hit hard on defense. Weequahic at Westwood, both teams 4-1. Westwood winning the matchup last year. But since the start of this year, both these North Jersey teams, I like Westwood in this one just solely based off the fact that I feel like they've been in bigger games these last few years. So I think they enter into a hard-fought game with Weequahic. I just like the Cardinals to take this one. Winslow 3-2, both those losses to Bergen Catholic and IMG Academy though. Camden 4-1. They're coming off a big win over Rancocas Valley, 8-6 the final of that one. Red Devils without their starting quarterback. Red Devils without their quarterback, Savion Adams. And it's for that very reason that I'm going to lean towards Winslow, only because they have taken on the cream of the crop, not only in the state, but in the country. I think they schedule these big games for this sole reason. Camden does have a lot of fight in them, and I am impressed with the resume that they've put together so far. The only one they came up short in was that battle with Shawnee where they lost 21-20. But I expect Winslow to keep the train rolling, and I think they get their third straight win to improve to 4-2. All right, well, that's going to do it for our Week 5 kickoff. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts below. Leave us a comment. Also, a like and subscribe wouldn't hurt. And let us know what games you're most excited about in Week 5. Obviously, like I said, to start this show, season's rolling along pretty quickly here. Before you know it, we're going to be in playoff mode. And we just appreciate you stopping by once again to kick it with us. All right, I'm going to give you my normal spiel. Enjoy yourselves out there. Be safe. Represent your family and your community well. And we'll see you back here next week for another installment of the Garden Statement. All right, guys. I'm Neri Rodriguez, and you already know, fresh cookies. Peace.